Hello, Fear the Meerkat here. If you can hear another voice very quietly underneath my voice, I apologise for that, but there's nothing I can really do about it. I've managed to record sound for this episode when I originally recorded it, so basically doing ordinary commentary instead of post commentary. But unfortunately, whether whatever the reason, the audio of my voice was very quiet, and you couldn't really hear it properly over the music of the game itself. And so I'm having to record post commentary. But the only way I can really do it is to have my post commentary going on at the same time as the audio from the original file, and the audio from the original file still has my voice very, very quietly on it. So if you can hear two commentary tracks, I apologise for that. But hopefully, my voice will be loud enough for that to not matter. I had to reset Windows from scratch, basically reinstall Windows, and because of that, some of my systems are a little messed up at the moment, and so one of them is the sound, but I am hoping that the sound from my microphone will be fine as it is now. So, welcome to another episode of Final Fantasy IV. And here we are in this town that we've managed to reach. Just to remind you of what was happening in the previous episode, we've come here to get one of the crystals, and we've just gained the ability with the airship it to fly over mountains and lava, and because of that, we've managed to arrive in this new place, this new town. And the way I've edited it, I've shown a few things off, but not anything that didn't seem sort of relevant and useful. So this edit might be a bit awkward because I've had to just sort of guess which bits were important and which bits weren't. I can't use my audio commentary to gauge which bits were useful and which bits weren't, because I couldn't hear my audio commentary properly. So hopefully everything that's in here will give me time to say what I have to say. And at this point, I think my characters are probably don't need the inn, because they've all got full HP and MP. But yes, I should explain why you're seeing Final Fantasy IV at all, and occasionally I might have to interrupt that by telling you something that's happening on screen. But why are you seeing this and not seeing another episode of the second half of Sonic the Hedgehog 4? Well, as I say, I've had to restart Windows from scratch, and because of that, I've lost all of the apps, all of the applications that were originally that I've added to Windows over the years. So when I reinstalled Windows, it went back to the basic apps that came with my version of Windows and came with my computer, and that's all it had on it. This, by the way, looks like I'm just saying something about not really needing the Stardust and the Geiger drum, because they do things that my characters can already do with their magic. So that's what's happening on screen. As I say, I'm going to have to interrupt myself occasionally. But yes, as you might know, I wasn't getting on very well with the second half of Sonic 4. I was finding it very difficult. At this point, I decided to get the chain whip and equip it to one of my characters. You'll see which one in a minute. And I got some arrows. Rydia, that's it, right here. So that's what's happening, and in a minute I'm going to leave the town completely and go in this cave that's supposed to have the crystal in it. And obviously I've cut out any bits here that didn't seem useful. Fortunately, he doesn't mind us stealing town stuff. So, yes. So I wasn't getting on very well with Sonic the Hedgehog 4. I wasn't certain if I could ever really complete it or not. So, and of course, since it wasn't a default app that came with my computer, it was removed during the process of reinstalling Windows, which was necessary because my Windows had some sort of big problem that could only be solved with me reinstalling it. I'm just showing off the characters' levels here. They're not the same as they should be. I'll explain why in a moment. But if the levels seem different to how they seemed on episode 36, which is the last episode that I put on here, then on YouTube, then there's a good reason why. But that's the level that they're at. But yeah, since I was uncertain about Sonic the Hedgehog 4, and since I would have lost all of my saved games, most likely anyway, because of having to reinstall it, I decided that I was just going to abandon Sonic the Hedgehog 4 and go back to Final Fantasy 4. And so that's what's happened. And if you're disappointed, well, this is probably what would have ended up happening anyway. I just cut out a battle there where almost all of my characters died, and I decided to run from battle because it was the only way I could survive. So that's why I cut out a battle without showing anything off. I basically had the wrong equipment, so in a minute you'll see me giving myself the right equipment and fixing that problem. But yeah, whilst you're in this cave, don't use Ice Lance and don't use anything else that causes ice magic or fire magic or any kind of magic, because there are some creatures called chimeras in this cave that are healed by you using elemental attacks, and that means basically stuff like ice magic. And although technically you're not using magic when you use the Ice Lance, for example, the Ice Lance is an elemental weapon that uses the ice element, so it's like you're using magic basically, so don't do that. Alright, I'm going to concentrate now on finishing my explanation. I'm sorry that I keep interrupting it. In the meantime, you'll see battles and stuff, but I'll comment on them later, even though they're not on screen. So, I basically lost my Sonic the Hedgehog 4 game, and I won't be continuing with that. And that's really just how it is. And so I'll be continuing with this. And I'm lucky because I only lost my most recent save games. So I had to replay 3 hours worth of this game before getting myself to this point where I was ready to start recording again. It went back to an earlier point in the game, but fortunately, I didn't lose all of my saved games. And the reason why that happened was reinstalling Windows would have removed the program and would therefore have removed all of the saved games. But fortunately, when I decided to take a break from recording episodes of Final Fantasy IV, I deleted Final Fantasy IV and installed it, but I did not get rid of my save games. And the effect of this is basically reinstalling Windows didn't get rid of the save games. It just got rid of my most recent save games. Don't ask me how it works, but it worked. And because of that, I didn't really lose that much. I only lost 3 hours worth of stuff. And so that's it. That's the full explanation of what's going on. And so now I'm fighting these chimeras. You want to use physical attacks. You do not want to use magic attacks against these things. Although with Rydia, I've decided to use magic attacks more often than I used to. I used to be worried about the amount of MP that they took, magic points, but I decided magic is her main attack. It's like her version of the physical attacks. It's what she's good at. It's what she can cause the most large amount of damage by using. And so I decided I might as well use it. And when you get to more of these ropes, you can climb up them or down them. Basically, this cavern is made up of these sort of floating islands. When you're up against these things, my advice would be to get rid of the chimeras first. That's the green one at the back, because the other two creatures are weak to magic, but the chimera isn't, which means you'll be healing the chimera with the magic whilst also doing damage to the other two, and that's not a good situation to be in. So don't do that. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, there's a reason he abandoned this Let's Play and decided to take an indefinite break from it, which is that he was getting sick of lots of random battles, lots of random encounters. So won't the same thing happen again? And I can't guarantee that I won't get sick of them, but I'm hoping that I won't, because I've made the decision to skip battles more often, and I am hoping that that will be the thing that will make me want to finish this. So I'm also pretty close, according to the strategy guide, to finishing this game. I have a few side quests to do and a little bit of the main story, but not that much. I'm more than 75% of the way through this. So I'm just going to make this big push to finish it, and it's either that or try to finish Sonic the Hedgehog 4 and not get very far with it, or buy a new game, which I can't afford to do right now. I just don't have money for that. So it's this. I've run out of options, so I will be doing this. The enemies in this cave are quite strong, and it turns out I probably should have gone and done a couple of side quests before this. After I finished this, recording this episode, I went and had a look on the strategy guides for a good reason that I'll be telling you about later. But it turns out that if I'd gotten the Defender Sword, which you can get through a side quest for Cecil, this would have been a lot easier, this cave. But I didn't, and I intend to finish the cave before I go on to any side quests. So I will just have to make things hard for myself. Not impossible, but hard, because I don't get to the boss of the cave by the end of this episode, but I do get 90% of the way through the cave, and so I intend to just finish this cave. And you need to be, all your characters to be level 40 something to be able to do the side quests anyway, and I don't want to stop and do a side quest that's going to involve going into another cave and fighting more monsters until I've finished this cave and finished fighting this lot of monsters. As you can see, that's the battle I decided to run from, and I'm actually very glad that I did. Not because I wouldn't have won, but just because it stops me from getting sick of battles, and it also means that I complete the episode quicker, which is good because otherwise I start to get slowdown problems. I've cut this down from an hour to just under half an hour. I don't mind it being half an hour because a lot of my Sonic the Hedgehog 4 episodes were short, but this cave is long, so I really won't have time to fight every battle anyway. Again, I'm really sorry if you can hear my voice quietly saying completely different things, but it's this audio or have my voice really quietly saying things, but not have my post commentary on top of it, and I think that would be worse. So, I'm not sure what else to say for the moment. I'm not sure how the booster is useful. I mean, it only tells you about monsters you've already fought, and once you've fought them, I don't see how it's really useful for you to know information about them, because you already know how to beat them. Alright, all of the doors in this place from this point on are these enemies instead. But the good thing about these enemies is they target one character, and the game tells you which character they've targeted, and then they kill or at least knock out that one character, but they don't do any damage to any of the other characters that they haven't targeted. So, and normally the battle finishes with only two characters being targeted and killed, or at least knocked out. I'll say killed because that's more convenient. See, they've killed Cecil there, but I would much rather have that than have my characters, all of my characters' HP being slowly going down, because then I know what to expect, and I know that lots of my characters are going to survive the battle, and I can always raise these characters. So jump is useful because Cain, whilst he's in the air, can't be targeted. I worked it out a bit too late and wasted a lot of magic power because of it, but Protect doesn't stop the targeted characters from getting killed, and none of the non-targeted characters get hurt, so there's no point in using Protect. My advice, if you're playing along with me, is just don't use Protect, and that's that. As you can see, these enemy battles take a while in here, in this cave. I'm trying to talk over myself when I can hear myself very quietly talking. So a lot of these areas, these doors hide useful chests like this, useful weapons, but then some of them have nothing behind the door at all. So that's just weird. Took me a while to work out which weapons I was going to use. If the audio in my post commentary is out of sync, I apologise for that. But I'm working here on something that I wasn't expecting to do, which is post commentary, and basically this is it. You either get this or you get nothing. I know that doesn't sound very professional of me, but I'm not redoing all of this stuff again. This is it done. Hopefully normal service will resume from the next episode onwards. I don't know if I was having slowdown problems here or what. I'm assuming that the skipping bits is due to my editing stuff out. That would be my guess, and it would be good if that was true, or maybe there's slowdown problems, because if that's true, it's probably not affecting the audio much. It might be making the audio a bit out of sync, and if it is, I'm sorry about that. I don't really know what to say about that. So since this problem's happening, perhaps I ought to keep my commentary to a minimum. I don't know. I suppose I'll see once it's finished. Once it's finished and I watch it with the post commentary on it, as it were. Yep. One of these yellow dragons will occasionally emerge from one of these doors, and well, the good thing is, unlike most monsters, they still get attacked by status affecting attacks. Status affecting attacks still work on them, so that's good. But the bad thing is these yellow dragons are very, very powerful, and you can't escape anything that comes out of these doors. And you can't escape the doors themselves. So you just have to fight this thing and hope that you win. And I recommend using the strongest magical attacks and indeed summoning that you can use. Otherwise, this thing's going to destroy you. Occasionally, these yellow dragons come out of mystery eggs as well, which you might remember from when we were stuck in the tower. Okay, it seems to have gone back to normal now. I don't know if you can see it being weird or not. I think it depends on what FPS it's going at. Hopefully I won't have to record another post commentary, and so whatever's happening now won't happen again. But if you can't see it, that doesn't mean that it won't be causing audio sync problems. If it's really bad, I will re-record. I will try to work out what's happening and then re-record it. One of the problems of being in this cave and fighting lots of battles, even if you skip a few, is that I am using a lot of magic here. These powerful enemies attack like Blizzawa, even though it's a medium level magic attack, is still not very powerful against these, and I'm having to heal a lot, and because of that, I'm using up a lot of magic. I think I cut out some of this battle. Yes, I did. As you can see, it got down to Rydia, and I think at this point I used my last Phoenix down. So, yeah, I was in a lot of trouble in this cave, and I'm just very lucky that the Blizzard worked here. This battle in total took about 10 minutes. There were bosses in this game that aren't as powerful as Yellow Dragons. Well, I'm talking now to cover my talking quietly in the background. Don't actually have anything to say, but it's preferable than what you would otherwise be able to hear. For some reason, I decided to sort of pause the action and talk a lot. But yes, behind this demon door that we've had to fight so hard for, we have 2 chests, so that's good. At least we have something. I like the way the lava looks in this cave. But yeah, behind this door there's nothing, and I'm not really sure what the point of this room is. I think they just put a demon door there to annoy you. And also behind this one there's nothing. So I think they just put this one here to annoy you. But I'm going up levels, and according to Strategy Guide, even if I did want to go and do these side quests, I'd need to be at least level 40. It also recommends doing a side quest that lets Rydia get 2 new summons, 2 new things you can summon, but again, I didn't want to leave this cave with lots of random encounters in it and go to a different cave with lots of random encounters in it in order to get the things I need to make this cave easier.